Welcome back everybody to the Sprinkler channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to fix your sprinkler pipes that are broken with this guy right here. This is a slip fix, and this will allow you to be able to cut out a section of your pipe and repair it. So this is a 3/4 inch slip fix. And you also will need a 3/4 inch coupler that's slip, and then you'll want some primer. Here's a primer that you can use to prep the PVC, and then a fast setting glue, PVC pipe glue. And then you'll want at least a piece of PVC pipe. This is a 3/4 inch Schedule 40. Schedule 40 just tells you about the thickness of the pipe. And assuming that's what you're working with, you want some PVC pipe cutters like this one right here that you can just pick up at your local box store. And also you'll want some sort of rag or thick paper towel, like shop towel like this is, to be able to clean off your PVC pipe as you're prepping it to get ready to cut it and glue new parts on, so that way you can ensure the best bond with the glue and not have any debris or dirt causing it to not bond correctly. And then you can just have this little marker here used to mark out the section where you need to cut out and whatnot. Also, don't forget to have a shovel, of course, to be able to dig up the pipe that's broken, expose that. Ideally, you'd use a trenching shovel, probably would be the easiest. So with that, let's get started into the different parts, different steps of doing this repair. So first of all, you're going to want to locate, you'll probably know where the wet spot is in your yard, and you know approximately where it's at. So then you'll probably want to just start digging in that area, and as you get closer you might need to turn on the sprinklers in that zone, assuming it's in one of your zones, and then you'll be able to see where the water's coming from and get to the point to where exactly that break is. And it might just be a small break, that's caused by maybe a root, or maybe it was done by somebody digging in that area or whatnot. Or you might also have what's called a freeze break. If the water freezes in the pipe and then expands, and it creates a long crack along here, and it can go any amount of distance depending on where that is. So you'll want to, once you get the pipe exposed, you'll want to turn the water back on to locate exactly where the break is, so that way you know what section to cut out of that pipe, and you're not cutting it and leaving a cracked part of the pipe still attached. So if that crack is not very big, then what you'll use to gauge how much to cut out is your slip fix, and then also attached to your coupler. So essentially what we're going to be doing is replacing a section of the PVC pipe with the slip fix that will be in its place like that. So instead of using glue to put the parts together today, I'm just going to be using some dish detergent, so that way I can reuse these parts after I show you how to use them. So assuming this was our crack right here, we know that in order to use this, we still have to have a certain amount of the section pulled out, so that way we can fit this in here. So I'm just going to go ahead. What you want to do is put glue on this end of the PVC pipe. Like I said, I'm just using dish detergent right now, but you'll want to prime it first, and then put some glue on this end, and then also put some glue on the inside after you prime your coupler as well. And then you can just twist that on, put it on there, so that way it's all the way to the middle section. And then we can put this over here next to the pipe and say, okay, we need to cut out this section of the pipe right here, and then we'll go over on the other side where that's lined up, and then we'll just measure that approximately, so that way we have enough room to slide this in to there, because we'll have all this exposed, and we'll make sure that all that pipe is exposed with even underneath it, because we need it to be able to glue on to the whole thing. And then also when we cut this, a lot of times you'll have water draining out of it, and so that way it's not sitting in water, because we need this to be bone dry when we glue it. You'll want to leave a little cavity or pocket or bowl underneath the pipe that the water can drain out to without touching the pipe. All right. So now that we have that section measured out, we'll go ahead and put that to the side. We'll take our cutters and we'll cut right here on the lines. So we'd be reaching down into the hole that we just dug, and then just using these things to pipe cutters to cut a nice clean cut there. And then we'll go and cut out this side as well. And of course, this is going to be a little different with it not being in the ground, but you should get the same idea. So with this section being removed, and then so in the ground in your hole, you'll see these two ends still connected to the rest of the sprinkler system, right? And all we're doing is removing this broken part out of the way. And then now what we're going to do is put this right into here. So usually what I like to do is I'll just, with this suspended in the air, I'll put glue around here after I prime it, and just make sure that you get underneath as well. And then I'm going to put that so that way you don't get the glue on anything. And then remember, with this fast setting glue, you only have probably 20 seconds to get all both ends glued. So you want to prime both, and then you'll want to hurry and push this onto a pipe like that as you're rotating it, just like that, until it goes all the way to the end. When you're gluing this side, make sure you don't put too much glue on it to where it glues it to this part, right? Because you want to be able to still pull it out, right? Like that, and connect to the other side. So at this point, you're going to be looking like this. This is glued, and this is not yet glued right there. So this should line up to where once we extend this, we're going to extend this over that pipe as far as we need to push it all the way over the pipe and glue that last joint, okay? So with your primer, prime both ends, and then take the glue, and just know that you need to work quickly with the glue, and then you'll just put glue. Make sure when it's in the ground, it's hard sometimes to get evenly distributed glue underneath, but you want to make sure you do that, and then make sure you have about an inch of that. So it would be like that. You glue that real quick, and then of course all this would be suspended, and you just have to extend this over that piece of pipe like that, okay? And you'll see the glue that should kind of bead out. If you put enough glue on there, it will bead out a little bit, so you can see it, that it's sealed all the way around these joints. And then there you have it. So then you'll just have all your glue joints, 1, 2, 3, glued in like that. Now, if you had a piece of pipe that needed to be cut out that was really long, longer than this, then what you would need is an extra piece of PVC pipe, cut to whatever length you need, and another coupler. So then what we would do is glue this onto the pipe at a certain spot, and then bring this down to, say, like if we needed to bring it to here, then we could just cut it right here, make it that length, and then move on to what we just showed you about installing this coupler and this slip fix onto the rest of the pipe. So we want to reduce it to a certain size, then put on your slip fix. And so that's how you do it if the piece of pipe you're taking out is a very large portion of the pipe. And then after you let it sit for at least a few minutes, depending on temperatures, if it's in the summertime, it should only take really about 30 seconds before it really hardens up, but then I usually give it at least 5 minutes to set a little bit better. And then I'll turn on the sprinkler system, check all the joints, make sure it's not leaking underneath the joints anywhere, and making sure that all the joints were glued properly and that we don't have any more leaks now. And then if everything checks out, then we can put all the dirt underneath and backfill all the dirt back into there, put any sod that was on top right there. Just make sure when you want to compact the dirt around and underneath, but don't stand on top of the pipe, because that could cause another crack with the pipe or something. So just slowly put the dirt back in there and compact it around the pipe, so that way it will support the pipe like it was. And then with time and watering and stuff, it will settle in and kind of compact itself the rest of the way. So hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and we'll see you in the next one.